Okay, so today we're diving into a really significant story. Frank Wang and how his deep passion for flight basically built DJI, the drone giant. We're talking a company valued at what, over 15 billion yuan now?
That's right. It's a huge number. And it's a story that really challenges those, standard ideas about success in tech and business.
Absolutely. I mean, it kind of defies the usual playbook. And it's amazing to think it started, well, pretty humbly, right? From a university dorm room.
Exactly. From a dorm to dominating what is over 70% of the global drone market, that's quite a leap.
It really is. So to understand how this happened, we're looking at an analysis today focusing on Frank Wang's journey and DJI's evolution.
Yeah, the goal is really to unpack the keys to his success, the big innovations that DJI brought, and, the ripple effect they've had across so many industries.
We want to pinpoint those crucial moments, the strategic choices, and the underlying thinking that let Wang turn what was essentially a childhood hobby into this global corporation.
Okay, let's get into it. It starts early, back in Hangzhou, China. Frank Wang was apparently fascinated by science, electronics, even toy helicopters as a kid.
And this early interest wasn't just a passing thing. The analysis we're looking at calls it a vital compass. It's kind of amazing how that early spark could shape such a massive future, isn't it?
It is. And what's really interesting is how that curiosity shifted into this firm belief that UAVs, unmanned aerial systems, had potential way beyond just, entertainment or
That
toys.
early vision seems crucial.
Definitely. It's something you see often with truly innovative ventures, seeing potential where others might not.
Right. Now, here's where it gets interesting for listeners. Wang goes to the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, studying electronic engineering, but he apparently struggled quite a bit,
Yeah, he had trouble fitting into that structured academic environment, preferred tinkering, experimenting on his own in his dorm.
which clashed with the formal curriculum, right?
Exactly. And his grades suffered because of it. He was actually at risk of being kicked out. But this is a key moment. There was a professor who saw his potential, despite the grades, recognized something unconventional there.
And gave him a small grant, I read.
Yes, a small grant to work on a flight control system prototype. It really speaks to the importance of spotting talent that doesn't fit the standard mold.
It really does. And it backs up that idea, mentioned in the analysis, that breakthrough ideas often come from outside the classroom structure.
That tension between formal learning and self-driven exploration, it can be a real catalyst for innovation. You're driven by solving a specific problem, not just applying theory.
So the takeaway here seems to be that obsession with cracking a problem can be more powerful than just academic knowledge alone. University isn't always the only path.
Precisely. And if you connect that to Wang's later vision, that early hands-on drive really laid the groundwork for DJI's whole R&D culture.
Oh, so what was the initial focus?
Well, initially they focused on developing advanced flight controllers, basically the brain that stabilizes multi-rotor aircraft. That was a big technical hurdle back then.
Okay, so fast forward a bit. DJI is founded in Shenzhen in 2006. Very modest capital, operating out of a small apartment.
Right. And at first, they were making these flight stabilizers for unmanned helicopters and selling those components to other companies.
Just the parts, initially.
Yeah. But what's notable even then was Wang's bigger strategy. His goal wasn't just components, it was always to build complete drones, integrating both the hardware and the software.
Ah, that vertical integration idea.
Exactly. Controlling the whole process, design to software, not relying on outside suppliers for core tech. That was a key differentiator right from the start.
And that differentiation really exploded onto the scene in 2013 with the DJI Phantom, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The Phantom was a massive turning point. Suddenly, drones weren't just for specialists or hobbyists with deep technical skills.
What made it so different?
It was just easy to use. It had an integrated camera, which was huge, and a really appealing design. It basically democratized drone technology for the average consumer.
Made it accessible.
Hugely accessible. It simplified the complexity and offered real value right out of the box. That's a pattern you see with many disruptive techs.
And it was a risk too, right? Integrating the camera that early could have backfired, increased costs.
For sure, it was a bold move, but it paid off massively.
So after the Phantom, DJI just kept expanding, kept innovating. We saw models like the Mavic, the Inspire, the Matrix.
Right, each one pushing the envelope further, bringing in professional capabilities, more advanced sensors, catering to all sorts of different industries.
Can you give an example, like how did adding a specific sensor open things up?
Well, take LiDAR, for instance. Adding LiDAR sensors allowed drones to create highly accurate 3D maps. That was revolutionary for things like infrastructure inspection, surveying, construction.
Right. Completely new applications.
Exactly. It showed DJI wasn't just refining old designs, they were actively exploring new functions and meeting very specific industry needs, from filmmaking to precision agriculture.
And the global impact is just undeniable now. That 70% market share in consumer and prosumer drones is staggering. Presence in over 100 countries.
Plus, that massive investment in R&D, you mentioned over 25% of revenue, that's huge.
How critical is that continued R&D spend to staying ahead?
Oh, it's absolutely fundamental. It lets them not just improve what they have, but push into new areas. AI, computer vision, autonomous flight. That's how you maintain leadership.
And the applications are everywhere now, aren't they?
They really are. The analysis points to film and TV, obviously, for high-quality aerial shots.
Agriculture too, crop spraying, monitoring.
Public safety, disaster response, search and rescue, surveillance, even infrastructure inspections, construction site monitoring.
It really feels like DJI changed the skies for a lot of industries.
It does, and it shows they didn't just make flying gadgets, they fundamentally set a new global standard for accessibility, performance, and even the industrial design of this technology.
The recognition they've received speaks volumes too. That valuation over 15 billion yuan being highlighted by Time, Forbes, MIT Technology Review.
And being called China's most influential tech hardware company.
What does that signal on the global stage?
It really underlines their role as a pioneer. They're at the forefront of merging AI, computer vision, and aerial autonomy. Their rise is a major case study in how disruptive innovation can completely reshape an entire sector.
So, as we get to the takeaways, Frank Wang's story offers some key lessons, doesn't it?
Definitely. First off, he really bucked the conventional success models, didn't follow the typical academic path.
Didn't chase U.S. venture capital, prioritized local development and strategic independence.
Right. Now, were there downsides to that unconventional route? Possibly. Maybe accessing certain networks or early funding was harder?
Perhaps, but it clearly worked out.
It suggests that technical obsession and a clear vision can be just as, or even more, valuable than traditional credentials or funding routes.
And it highlights passion over just raw talent, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
His intense interest in flight seems to be what drove him through the challenges.
Absolutely. That passion was the engine. And it also shows that innovation isn't geographically bound. DJI's success coming out of China really debunks any idea that cutting-edge tech is limited to specific hubs like Silicon Valley.
It proves innovation can happen anywhere.
Precisely. And finally, Wang's story is just a powerful example of how one determined entrepreneur can fundamentally change the tech landscape.
DJI isn't just a drone company anymore, is it?
No, it's become a symbol of clear vision, relentless execution, and how technology is being redefined. It's a reminder that disruption often comes from those who dare to challenge the norms and just stubbornly pursue their vision.
So, to quickly recap, we've traced Frank Wang's incredible journey from a struggling student to the founder of a drone empire. We've seen the power of early passion and vision and the massive global impact DJI has had. Hopefully this deep dive has been insightful for everyone listening.
It's definitely an inspiring story, especially for anyone pursuing their goals outside the conventional lanes. It shows conviction and execution really can rewrite the rules of success.
Which brings us to a final thought to leave you with. Thinking about that mix of passion, innovation, and sheer determination that fueled DJI. What other industries out there might be ripe for a similar kind of transformation? Something to ponder about the potential of disruptive tech across the board. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.